No.
Oh, sorry, Richard. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, I want to talk about traffic management. And along with quite a few other people around the town, I'm not very happy about what's been achieved in relation to traffic management. Ledbury Town Council professes to take very seriously the concerns of local residents that there is a problem with speeding traffic, inappropriate parking, congestion, pedestrian safety, disabled access along pavements and across roads. Now, I raised this issue in January 2015 in this very committee in this room. And it was resolved that that matter would be given the highest priority by Ledbury Town Council. Now, 2 years on, nothing of any substance appears to have been achieved in this area. Nothing. There have been sporadic discussions in committee here and at packed meetings, but as usual in Ledbury, no concrete action. Ledbury Town Council has the competence to take hold of its traffic management and do something good for the residents of the town. It's not up to Herefordshire Council. It's not going to happen via Herefordshire Council. Ledbury Town Council can do these things and should be doing them. Other towns and parishes have this issue at the top. Sorry, is there a bleeping coming out of your camera, Councillor Bradford? It's rather distracting. Do you mind? Other towns and parishes have this issue at the top of their agenda because they understand that the safety and well-being of residents is their primary responsibility. We know Ledbury people are hugely bothered by this. It came out at the top or near the top of the survey of residents' concerns in the town plan survey, which Griff just alluded to. There are regular letters in the paper. Someone has even written to this council offering their own money to pay for a traffic survey, and they were given the brush off. I have people ringing me up as an ex-councillor saying, what is happening about this? In June, there was a horrendous crash on the South End, which I witnessed the aftermath of. It was my picture on the front of the Ledbury Reporter, and it was my friend who was nearly killed as that car flew through the air. And debris flew in all directions. It was a miracle that the lad wasn't killed, but he was shouting and screaming in pain. It was not pretty. Old and disabled people and parents with kids dodge over the Hereford and the Gloucester roads, taking their life in their hands. The lives of residents on Lower Road are blighted by reckless driving. On Friday and Saturday evenings, the town centre is like a racetrack as the boy racers rev up for an adrenaline-fuelled evening tearing in and out of the town. What are you doing? I wrote to the Mayor on the 1st of June, after the crash, asking her personally to take this matter into hand. And what happened? Nothing. Did I get a reply? Nothing. I sent a very nice email to her. No action. She was presumably too busy tending to more important matters like organising parades and flags and bunting and complaints and opening shops, this kind of thing. It's not good enough. And where have you been all this time? Basking in your own committee importance, spending hours in talking shops and arguing amongst yourselves while people out on the streets are taking their chances. Now, I'm not going to mince my words, and I'm finishing now. This committee and this council cost a great deal of money to keep going. Public money. But it's pretty much worthless when it comes to the issues that really matter to people. It's pitifully ineffectual. 2 years has gone by and nothing has happened. How much longer do we have to wait before you manage to do anything useful in this town. If you're not able or willing to do something worthwhile, then my advice is this: go. Just go and leave it to someone else who is. We're not happy.
Can I reply to that?
No, I'm not really interested, thank you.
Well, I will reply and just make a statement to say that for the past 18 months, the Pact have spoken to the police officers. They've been monitoring the traffic. They monitored it at the south end.
I know this.
And have spoken to the people who brought it forward from, what's it called? Underdown.
John Duncan,
Yeah.
John and Margaret Duncan.
Yeah.
Yes, I know them.
And
I was speaking to John today.
They've also been monitoring the traffic and the parking up and down the other streets that you drew attention to. And what's his name? The police officer?
Sam.
No, the new sergeant who's going. Because he actually, I'm hopeless at the moment. But he actually has driven up and down the road to see how easy it is to speed in certain areas, and he has paid particular attention to certain areas, and they are absolutely on the case, and they have been on the case of young drivers who are speeding, and some cars have been taken away and crushed, haven't they? Because they were found to be speeding and speeding again. So the police are actually looking into it.
The police are, but Ledbury Town Council is not.
Well, through us, through the councillors on Pact.
Yet Pact
And
is
also-
talking and not doing
Can I-
anything.
can
No,
I
it
just-
is because the
It
police
isn't.
officers are. But
It isn't.
Can
No, I expect you to deny this, but this is a matter of concern to the community. 2 years have gone by and the traffic management issue has not been systematically addressed. That is my point.
Right,
Sorry, what
can
would
I?
you consider a systematic address?
Right, we put forward a proposal to have a complete drains-up examination of traffic management issues. I did a lot of consultation around the town.
Could I just butt in there, please, and draw this to a close, please? We are councillors, but we are also community members. We live within the community. It is a problem that's been in Ledbury for generations, of cars speeding, parking where they will. It is a problem that should be enforced. There are laws governing it, but it never seems to be done. That is not a council problem. That is a police issue.
Traffic calming, lines, warning, signage, crossings.
Yes, but a lot of the things that you brought up are actually police matters. The speeding and bad driving are actually police matters. It is not for us to enforce. We can make recommendations, we can keep having meetings, we can keep doing these things, we'll do this, we'll do that, but it comes down to police action.
and also the yellow lines. We've been waiting for those to.
It's
happen.
very unfair to say that we haven't been doing anything. You cannot enforce laws. That is a police issue. If somebody wants to speed, that is them. It's not my responsibility of their actions. Telling people that they are responsible for a speeding driver, that you are not behind the wheel. That's somebody else. That person needs to be dealt with. As a councillor, we cannot enforce the law.
Councillor Mann, I'll send you the paperwork related to the various meetings that we had before you were elected.
Well,
I think it would be good to get up to speed.
Right, well this...
Councillor Barnes, I was hoping would be here because he was involved in that.
Right.
So
okay.
it isn't fair on you, Councillor Manson, I'm not directing it at you.
But can I just draw this as well? People are afraid of speeding drivers, and as a person who's been hit by a car,
Yes.
it hurts. It ruins your life. So I take it deeply personal when someone says that I'm responsible for somebody else's bad driving. If they are going to drive irresponsibly, that is them.
I'm not doing that. I'm saying you should be responsible for Ledbury Town Council's response to that. And that needs to be, and I'm here, unpopular though it is and unpalatable, to say, please, will you take it seriously as a council and do what was agreed at the January 2015 Planning Committee, which is to take this matter forward in a systematic way with empirical evidence and draw all the strands together. That's all.
Okay, well that is now, have you got anything to say, councillor?
Well, yes, I'm quite enthusiastic with these members of the public's concerns, really, because it's true, but we, as a committee, can only make recommendations, and a lot of councillors have been saying this for many, many years. He has a valid point when maybe we shouldn't have a planning committee, because most of the plans, the decisions are made by a planning office sometimes before it comes in front of us, and maybe we should look at developing more of the economic side of this, and maybe stick in traffic management. But as the chair rightly says, bad driving, speeding and accidents and poor roads is a local authority and police. And I know for many, many years, many councillors that have come and gone has expressed frustrations as this member of the public has. And I hope he keeps going on, because it is a problem.
Something done about it.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Can we draw this one to a close
Yes,
and
Chair.
go to the next? Oh, sorry, no. Councillor Harvey wants to speak.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. I'll come along to feedback on some queries that Councillor Barnes put to me about the yellow line TROs. I've spoken to officers at Balfour Beatty, and they confirmed that there'd been a big delay on getting approval for the funding for the TROs that this one was in with. That was received last week. So what they're doing is they're scheduling the TROs that have been approved for work, and they want to get the yellow lining programmes in Ledbury plus a couple of TROs in Hereford done before the weather turns bad and there's a struggle to get the lining to bond with the road surface. So they haven't given me a date, but they said when they do have it scheduled, they will let me know, and I will pass it on to the town council so that you know what's going on. But the expectation is that within the next 4 to 6 weeks, that big bundle of yellow lining projects will be done in the town. Related to that, there is going to be an invitation come to the town council for a representative to go along to a meeting with Balfour Beatty and Herefordshire Council officers and representatives from other community groups in the town to look at scoping a piece of work that will be funded by Herefordshire Council, probably undertaken by Balfour, looking at public realm projects and transport and traffic management projects in the North Ward, predominantly because it is the town centre and also linked up to the station. So if you could give some consideration to that when you have your traffic management meeting. I expect that meeting will be called back end of October, beginning of November. So hopefully you'll be able to have your traffic management meeting before then and be able to have the representative go along with the distillation of whatever it is you discuss. Related to that, your budget item on the agenda this evening, I noticed the first pass at budgets for next year. If you could consider in your traffic management meeting the issues from the town plan relating to traffic management, and consider whether there are any budget provisions that need to be made in order to take those projects forward. One of the things that Balfour Beatty are doing at the moment is they're trying to find a way of speeding traffic regulation orders being implemented. The downside of that, because there isn't much budget provision being provided at Herefordshire Council level, is that if there are priority TROs that through the traffic management work that the town council does you would like to see undertaken as a matter of urgency, there may well be a route to get that done, but it could involve actually a contribution to the cost of the TROs coming from the town council. So again, if you would care to consider making some budget provision for that. I've asked Balfours to be thinking about what the costs are likely to be for different sorts of TROs, but we certainly have one in the pipeline from the residents of Macefield Avenue who are suffering a lot of parking problems up at the station end of things.
Yeah.
And as soon as there's any information on costs, I'll pass that on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.